friends, enemies, and those in between. I'd like to have a fireside chat with you all about a most pressing geopolitical issue, the coronavirus. So, therefore, with no further ado, let's get into it. In 2018, scientists diplomats from the United States Embassy in Beijing visited the Wuhan P4 lab. Thereafter, due to the Wuhan lab's lack of safety, they were so alarmed that diplomats sent two official warnings back to the United States. Now, in 2020, a leaked dossier from the intelligence community confirms that China suppressed and destroyed evidence at a crucial phase in the COVID-19 outbreak, hampering the efforts to create a timely vaccine. Subsequently, if the United States fail to find a vaccine for the coronavirus, this could shift the pendulum of global power out of the hands of the United States, much like um, 1956 brought about the collapse of the United Kingdom and brought an end to their global dominance. The Chinese Communist Party has had a long-term hatred for the United States. And this is no secret. Everybody knows this shit. They view the nation as their chief obstacle to global power. Chinese propaganda would glorify the 9/11 attacks as being it was a humbling blow against an arrogant nation. This is what they said. Furthermore, China's former president, Jiang Zemin, gleefully watched and rewatched pictures of aircrafts crashing into the World Trade Center. I mean, he was doing it gleefully. He loved it. Also, Chinese chagrin for the United States is expressed, and I believe it's a book, a 1999 book, um, called Unrestricted Warfare, written by two PLA colonels. Doctrine of total war outlined in the book Unrestricted Warfare clearly demonstrates that the People's Republic of China is they are preparing to confront the United States and also allies of the United States. This is what they intend on doing. They want to create. They want to conduct a asymmetrical or multi-dimensional attack on on um, on almost every aspect of our our social, economic, and political life here in the United States or here in the Western hemisphere of the world. Um, in the book, the PRC mentions one of the ways to weaken America is by biological warfare. The latter makes it difficult for me. I don't know about y'all, but it makes it difficult for me to believe, notwithstanding this controversy that the coronavirus was naturally conceived. Now, I don't believe that shit. Maybe you do, but I don't believe that this shit was conceived naturally. Anyway, you can talk to me about that in the discussion, the comment section. But anyway, in this book, Unrestricted Warfare, fighting the fight that fits one's weapons and making weapons to fit the fight is phraseology pertaining to the orthodox and unorthodox evolution of weapons used in warfare. Now, the lateral aligns perfectly with China's doctrine of total war. Now, the phraseology could be used um, to attack multifarious aspects of U.S. life. That's just how it is. But I mean, and I'm not just saying this. These are true, highly decorated PLA colonels that were saying this now. In addition, the CCP views the severity of the COVID-19 outbreak as a geopolitical opportunity. China is using that shit, the virus, to pursue global dominance. you must you must ask yourself the looming questions. If this was not a planned viral spread, why did the CCP ban Wuhan citizens from traveling throughout China, yet and still allowed them to travel outside of China? They couldn't travel throughout China, but they was able to travel outside of it to other nations. Also, if the CCP did not know about this earlier, okay, then why did the Chinese government stockpile masks and other medical protective gear before the virus even became a pandemic? That's what you have to ask yourself. Those are the two questions you have to ask yourself. The CCP may have surmised that they would be protected by the Foreign Sovereignty Immunities Act, which protects foreign states from being sued by other states. However, since the CCP engaged in a foreign activity that directly affected U.S. citizens, and what I mean by what did they do? They sold everywhere the United States faulty protective gear and masks. But citizens citizens but first of all the PRC may face lawsuits due to this. They may face lawsuits and criminal suits in the International Criminal Court by transactions. You can see that the PRC is taking advantage of the crisis. Hell, all you got to do is just simply glance at Amazon. You'll see what I'm talking about. You got sanitizers, you got toilet tissue with Chinese lettering on it. Additionally, amid the coronavirus outburst, the Chinese government um, is using the COVID-19 as a cover to cement its authoritarian rule over Hong Kong, permanently effacing its pro-democracy movement that they was having. Like I said, China has had a long-term hatred for the United States and is multilaterally positioning itself to defeat the U.S. by using the pandemic to strengthen its BRI initiative, the one bridge, one road initiative. Moreover, the Chinese Communist Party has nations, people, and companies within those nations um, in their back pocket. Hell, for starters, the peripheral nation of Venezuela. They stay alive, but barely, largely due to the money lending of the Chinese Communist Party. This is what they do, and they do it for strategic reasons. You see, the CCP's dealing with the petrol state not only gave China carte blanche in obtaining um, Venezuelan oil for a cheap price, it additionally put the Chinese government in a strategic position near the United States. No, so this way they'll be in striking distance. But according to a Venezuelan politician, notwithstanding who is in office in Venezuela, the state will honor its debt to to China. Now this is words from a politician in Venezuela. Admittedly, this is conjecture on my part, but I believe that Venezuela could very well remain in China's pocket um, for a long time because Venezuela owes them so much money. But now we have to look at Spain. Spain is a European country that the coronavirus is running roughshod on. The nation has a weird kind of relationship with China. The nation is a major protagonist of the One Bridge, One Road Initiative program and has happily signed the memorandum to jump aboard the PCR's initiative. It is must understand it is axiomatic that Xi Jinping appears to work only with countries for auspicious reasons. Thus, what else could be in it for the Chinese Communist Party? This is what we have to ask ourselves, and that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. The answer is live organ harvesting and a place to dispose dead bodies infected with coronavirus. And this contributes to Spain's outbreak. And in 2019, I believe, um, China had a live organ donating council. However, due to the fact that China's government is was and still is laden in scrutiny, the council was organ the council was organized by and masqueraded as a DCI shindig. The DCI is a Spanish organ donating group, and Marty Manelich is the co-chair of said organ harvesting organization. He's been at it for years. Additionally, Manelich is the pioneering doctor as well as the estranged to the CCP Spanish live organ harvesting partnership. Moreover, Spain and the Chinese Communist Party further solidified their their organ harvesting partnership hmm, by trading and buying live organs from each other via the one bridge one road initiative. Even though it, even though it is said both countries may have been involved in organ harvesting as early as 1999. Both of these countries. But another country we're going to look into is um, is, is Italy. They've unwittingly fallen into the CCP's back pocket. Italy is another European country, yet they are the only G7 nation to join China's One Belt, One Road initiative. Excuse me, I thought it was one bridge. Sorry, it's One Belt, One Road. The Italian Prime Minister, Gustav Kant, or whatever the hell, and Luigi Di Maio, the Italian Minister of Economic Development, They have haphazardly signed the memorandum in hopes that it would boost the nation's economy, increasing their exports to China. However, though some Italian officials believe that it will be more exports from China to Italy and less exports from Italy to China. But if you ask me, I figured that's what the hell they get. But anyway, additionally, China views the Italian government as useful idiots and is turning the nation into into a patsy. Blame the country now. They're blaming this country now for the spread of the coronavirus. That, moreover, the country has signed sister city agreements with China involving cities like Milan, Venice, Bergamo, um, which are the hardest hit Italian cities by the coronavirus. But go figure. I mean, they have dealings with China, and every nation that has dealings with China has a deep spread in this. But unbeknownst to the Italian government, their involved their involvement in the One Belt One Road Initiative program gives China a strategic position in Western Europe, economically challenging the United States over trade issues. See, this is all strategic for China. Furthermore, China is in a prime position to play as the first responder to virus outbreaks in Italy, France, and Spain, which is what is currently happening. Additionally, what is similar to what is similar about these nations is that um, hmm, these these nations is that the coronavirus infected Chinese citizens would travel to these and more nations around the world while they were prohibited to travel throughout China. Question is why? The Chinese Communist Party saw this as a geopolitical opportunity to swing the pendulum of global power in their favor. And that's what it's all about. And if there's a few dead Chinese folks, well, oh well. The the main goal is power, global dominance. And in addition, throughout this outbreak that is not yet truncated, has infected more than 4 million people worldwide, killing over 200,000 people. Unsurprisingly, criticism has been laid at the feet of the CCP, also and rightfully so, at the World Health Organization, which has been called to the carpet of disparagement for the way they've been for the way the organization has been handling the coronavirus thus far. Additionally, the reasons for the World Health Organization's not incompetence, but rather malfeasance, because that's what it is. It's for one, the CCP um, has handsomely paid off General Tedros, the general director of the World Health Organization. Secondly, it is because of like-minded political ideology. See, Xi Jinping belongs to the Chinese Communist Party. Tedros belongs to the Tigray People's Liberation Front. a far left Marxist Leninist party that was, excuse me, that was my phone, but uh, um that was a part, the party was a part of the most violent armed liberation movements in Ethiopia. They overthrew a despotic regime only to become repressive themselves. And furthermore, some experts are of the opinion that the coronavirus infection started as early as October 2019, and Xi Jinping and Tedros both were aware of this shit. However, Tedros repetitively bestowed praises upon the CCP and talking about how transparent they were and their handling um of the outbreak was great. All the while knowing that the CCP is placing on the coronavirus whistleblowers in internment camps and allowing um uninsured coronavirus ridden citizens to die. But yet their transparency is so great. The CCP, they're so great. The government is so great. This is what Tedros is saying. This segues into two at large, Dr. Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates. On one hand, you have a fork-tongued doctor, and on the other hand, you have a known globalist. Thus, let us start with the former. Dr. Fauci and the NIAID funded a study on on the coronavirus, a project that included scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is the Chinese lab, and at the center of this controversy. The NIAID, led by Fauci, will commit I believe it was an overall sum of 4 million dollars for bat coronavirus research in China. The research would the research would include gain of function work involving manipulating viruses in the lab to explore its potential for infecting humans. This is what they was doing. Hmm. Subs- Subsequently, the research led by would include Xing Li's um, S protein discovery, which is the human binding factor the coronavirus needed to make it infectious to humans. It would be quixotic to think Fauci was not aware of this shit. He knew about it. Additionally, Dr. Fauci might have been so confident that the lab, which is a category 4, was able to contain it. However, we see the residual effects. One could surmise one could surmise this because earlier, remember, he said that the United States need not worry about an outbreak. However, conversely, now the virus is here, and the Fauci-led coronavirus task force is shuffling around, trying to find a vaccine. Thus, the question arises: why the fourth branch of government, the media, is not talking about the link um associating the NIAID funding the Wuhan virus to study and manipulate viruses with this pandemic right now. Why aren't they doing it? They're not asking questions. They're not doing anything. For the most part, they're praising the guy. But amidst amidst global pandemonium, Beijing vehemently denies a Wuhan lab leak scenario. However, can we really trust the Wuhan lab with close ties to the Chinese Communist Party and has injected a CCP official in the Wuhan lab now just to keep everything as quiet as possible? Can we trust them? Remember, the Chinese Communist Party has been planning biowarfare against the United States since perhaps even before 1999. I mean, this is what these generals were saying. This book was written in 1999, so one plus one equals, well, this could be before 1999. But anyway, we have now, with no further ado, Bill Gates, a known globalist with no medical experience, not only has a great influence in the world of medicine and a cozy friendship with Dr. Fauci, but also Gates has paid Dr. Fauci multi-millions. Thus, it doesn't take rocket science to conclude why Fauci now mirrors um, Gates's support of vaccine and doubtful of the chloroquine sentiments. It doesn't take rocket science to wonder why or to even find a answer, even conjecturally. But anyway, additionally, Gates' influence expands to other coronavirus task force members like Dr. Deborah Bricks, who currently sits on the board of a group that has received billions from the Gates Foundation. She has recently used the disputed Bill Gates model for the White House's Wuhan effort to stop it. But furthermore, Bill Gates is a big exponent for a population lockdown scenario um, during this coronavirus outbreak. And unfortunately, the latter is not surprising. Moreover, it is equally unsurprising that left wing states like New York, New Jersey, California, and far left countries like Spain and China are taking a play out of subtly and outrightly taking a play out of Bill Gates' lockdown scenario playbook. Mind you, we got to remember all of these places that I'm mentioning are big supporters of Bill Gates. A few hours ago there was a lady in Italy who's like, listen, we gotta arrest this guy. But anyway, therefore, to conclude this soliloquy, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, with the evidence laid forth, it is practicable that the draconian government of China has been taking steps to curtail the United States' global dominance. For years, the CCP has planned on conquering the global theater, uh, along with the United States, by the implementation of unrestricted warfare, and finally, they have they have initiated it. The Chinese One Belt, One Road Initiative program simultaneously allows the communist regime's malfeasance to strengthen partnerships among other nations and to raise their economy by gasoline exports from countries who signed on to the One Belt One Road Initiative. CCP is not the CCP is not by happenstance creating partnerships that appear to be strategic. They're doing this shit on purpose. Thus, my contention is that these factors these factors place reasonable doubt on the notion that this viral spread was was coincidental. You know, the tragedy of a great power is that it is always a target until that power comes to an end. However, what is even more troubling is that political predisposition has fostered a feeling of blaming your own country for this pandemic amongst U.S. citizens, some U.S. citizens, not all, rather than like during 9/11, adopting the rally around the flag concept. Well, folks, that's about it. So all I have to say about that. Um, hit the like, hit the not like. I don't care. Um, let's carry on a conversation in the comment section. All right, take care.